Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're here to answer a tag and I'm gonna try and do it super quickly, so let's go! This tag was originally created by Vanessa Teixeira in her channel and I'll leave the link to her video down below. It was obviously created in Portuguese, so now I'm gonna quickly translate it to English and I'm gonna answer it, and I was too lazy to go pick up all the books, so editing me, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to put all the covers here. So let's go! So the first question is, Minister, a book that doesn't move forward, a book where nothing happens. For this one, I chose My Sister the Serial Killer, something that I read last year and it was just like nothing happens, like it's what the title says. There's two sisters and one of them is a serial killer. I found that book extremely boring, even though it got in like second place on the best book of the year. I don't know how, but yes. President, a book that cannot make up his mind. For this one, I chose The Mermaid Voice Returns in this one. This is a poetry book by Amanda Lovelace, and the reason why I think this book cannot make up his mind is because it's like a fight defending feminism, but at the same time, it also puts the woman in a higher level than the man, which goes against the feminism, that women and men should be the same and equal levels and all that. So in one way it defends something, but then it goes against it, and I don't know, I didn't really like this book, but I also think the book doesn't defend the same message throughout the book, or I think the book is trying to do that, but it's failing. Disinfectant, a sold out edition. I used to have the hardcover of the book The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It was the edition that came with Fairy Loot, and I was told the hardcover edition was sold out and that is impossible to buy it. I sold mine online. I got like £6 for it. I don't really care. I'm not gonna read it anyway, so I got rid of it. But I think it was the only thing that I have that is no longer being produced. Face Mask, a breathtaking book. I chose The Whisper Men. The reason why I chose this book is because this is like a thriller, but with some vibes into the horror, and it's really creepy, and there's some scenes at night where like they're sleeping and there's something walking in the bedrooms, and I was reading that and oh my god, it was stressful. I was scared and I was kind of holding my breath the whole time while I was reading it, because you know, it's like you feel like if you make any sudden movements, the thing in the book might actually jump into real life and come after you. Netflix, a good book to movie adaptation. For this one, I chose To All the Boys I've Loved Before. It was actually a Netflix adaptation, and I've only read the first book. I've watched the two movies, but I've only read the first book, and I enjoyed it, although I never intended on continuing with the series, and I didn't. But from what I remember from the book, by the time I watched the first movie, I do consider it's a very good book to movie adaptation. It keeps all the essence of the book, and the characters seem to me to be very similar to what happens in the book and all the things that happen. So yes, if you want a very strict book to movie adaptation, I would recommend this one. Open Borders, a book that is between two genres. For here, it immediately came to my mind The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Peckenham, because the book is technically a thriller, but it's not scary. It's not something that is written in a way to make you jump, so I would consider it more like a mystery. But at the same time, because it keeps telling you the story of the characters in the past, it's more like just a contemporary, because it's just their story, like nothing special is happening in the past. That's mostly the book, and the mystery is in the way that it's written. So I really think that The Wife Between Us is actually between mystery thriller and between contemporary. Tuna Fish, a book which you have multiple editions. I don't really have multiple editions of anything. I do have of one, that is Why We Broke Up, because I had an edition already, and then Rita gave to me last year, I believe, another book. She didn't know I had that one already, so she gave me that book, but she gave me a different edition from the one I happen to have. So technically I do have those two editions of the same book. However, I already have one of them in the pile to go give to charity shop when this all goes away and I can actually leave the house, because I don't have any interest in keeping multiple editions of the same book. So technically I have them, but soon not anymore. Toilet Roll, a book with which you would clean your bum. I'm not dying with you tonight. I read this during the Manganet competition and I've talked about this book quite a bit. I believe it was on my second vlog, the week 2 vlog. And it's just, like, the whole book is just so silly and it makes no sense, the decisions the characters take and the course of action and the way things evolve. It makes literally no sense. So that book is crap, and if you need some toilet paper, you can use that. Quarantine, the space where you like to read and relax. For me, the place where I read most of the times is in the sofa. I do read in bed as well before I sleep usually, or I try to, but most of my reading happens behind me in my sofa. And the last question is Coronavirus, a book that everyone has been speaking so much about that is becoming annoying. And for this one, I'm sorry, but I have to mention Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. It does have some other name besides Crescent City. I think that's the name of the series. I'm not sure. But recently, everyone's either reading that or hauling that book, and it's just all over the internet. Everyone's talking about it. Honestly, everyone's been saying good things about it, and at least that. But I don't like fantasy, not anymore at least, and I don't intend in reading that book, and it's getting a bit annoying watching the same book over and over and over all the way over internet. And it's just getting annoying. So that's my answer for this last question. And there you go, guys. These were my quick answers to the book tag created by Vanessa. If you'd like to do it, I'll leave the questions down there in the description with my silly translation thing. I also leave the link for her video, like I mentioned in the beginning. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and if you agree with my classifications of them. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye!